I played Modern Warfare 4 early. Call of Duty, Activision, and Infinity Ward invited me and a bunch of other creators to get hands-on with Modern Warfare 4, and in today's video, I not only get to share a bunch of news about the new Call of Duty game, I get to share my impressions from my hands-on experience. And my goal by the end of today's video is to rate Modern Warfare 4 from a scale of 1 to 10 based on my experience so far. So stay tuned for that, and before I go super in-depth, here's some major topics to get out of the way. Big picture storyline for Modern Warfare 4 is North Korea invading South Korea, so a lot of the game's setting will be based in Korea. The game will not be released on last gen, so not on PS4, but it will launch on Switch too. There's going to be campaign, multiplayer, and DMZ as the three main modes. Tac Sprint returns, and Doors return because it's an Infinity Ward COD. But there is the return of slide canceling and ADSing while sliding. Ninja returns as a perk. There's still a Dead Silence field upgrade, but like I said, Ninja will be a perk. Red dots are on the minimap, thank God. Theater mode returns. Shaders can be completed offline. Campaign can be played offline. The classic perk system returns. The Riot Shield is now a field upgrade, and it is destroyable. And weapon prestige is actually featured in Modern Warfare 4. Here in the future, to add a side note while I'm editing, Infinity Ward is also listening to feedback. I have permission to say that 2 months ago, Infinity Ward invited me to their studios for the first time to play an earlier version of Modern Warfare 4. This was with a much smaller group of creators, and we spent, no joke, 12 hours just playing the game and giving feedback. And the best part is, after coming back to play Modern Warfare 4 again, they listened to the feedback. The current game is improved based on the feedback we gave from the first go-round, and I imagine that will only continue improving in the right direction leading up to release. The movement is very similar to Modern Warfare 2019 in that it includes tac sprinting, slide canceling, and bunny hops, and similar to Black Ops 7 in that it includes a slide to supine and slide while ADSing, but it's important to note that it does not feature Omni movement, so this is a design choice to keep Modern Warfare feeling more grounded and more like Modern Warfare, and to keep the Modern Warfare feel distinct from the Black Ops games. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually didn't like this change at first. While I was playing the game, I wanted to sprint and slide sideways and backwards. Being so used to 2 years on Omni movement with Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7, it felt like something was missing, but after a few games of getting used to it, it felt back to normal. And admittedly, I don't think it would feel much like a Modern Warfare game if Omni movement was included, but y'all will most likely experience the same thing, or if you've gone back to older Call of Duties that don't have Omni movement, you know what I'm talking about. But the biggest movement change in Modern Warfare 4 is actually the mantling. Mantle speeds are way faster across the board, so I wasn't getting stuck in annoying mantle animations as often. Not only that, but you can also ADS while mantling so your gun stays up. And for, I believe, the first time in Call of Duty history, you can cancel a mantle animation. So let's say you're trying to mantle something really high and you do end up getting a longer mantle animation. You see somebody at the top, you can actually pull back on your stick and immediately go back down. You are never locked into completing the mantle. There's also a feature called a mantle slide, which is sick to play with. The best example I can give is if you're mantling on top of a car. There's one button you can press, I believe it's maybe holding X or something like that, where you'll mantle and automatically slide on top of the car. There's also a specific long slide to supine that all you have to do is double tap circle to complete it. It's like a long slide in Black Ops 6 or Black Ops 7, and you end up on your back, but the slide is faster and longer at the cost of an increased slide to fire time. And like I said earlier, you can ADS and fire while sliding like in Black Ops 7. You can jump and land in a slide like in Black Ops 7, but you cannot fire while diving like you can in Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7. The dive is similar to Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, where it's only used to escape unless you dive cancel on a ledge, which was a movement feature that I actually really enjoyed in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. One of Infinity Ward's design focuses that they mentioned is movement fluidity, but with a mindset of also being realistic and more or less grounded. Up next, the gunplay felt amazing, closer to Modern Warfare 2, but without as much visual recoil and gun smoke. There's a new feature called VFX maxing that removes the gun smoke where you're aiming. So shooting and gunplay feels realistic, but it doesn't take away from your visuals or your tracking like it did in Modern Warfare 2. That feeling like you're shooting, but you feel like you can't see anything because of all that gun smoke and camera shake, it's not nearly as prevalent in Modern Warfare 4. There were some lighting visuals that needed to be tweaked, like on some of the maps, the interiors would be a little bit darker and it was harder to see into them from the outside, but that's something that they're aware of and will likely change before full release. And my favorite new addition specifically to the gunplay that they're adding for Modern Warfare 4 is the new depth of field. Typically, when you're ADSing with bulky iron sights, they're taking up the majority of your screen and making it really hard to see. With the new depth of field update, the bulky and more distracting parts of the iron sights are removed, making iron sights way less obstructive and way more viable, even on longer range weapons like ARs. The best way to describe it, it's almost like the closer and bulkier parts of the iron sights are blurred out, so you can see through them and your main focus is on the distant point of the iron sight where you actually need to be aiming. And at least on the weapons that I try out, it never felt like I had to put on an optic. sick. And it was a great feeling to make use of more attachments elsewhere. Now, speaking of weapons, here's a few that I noticed. So the Vel 46 or the MP7 is returning, the PPSH is returning, and it looks almost like the World at War PPSH. It was really sick to see. The M4 is returning, and the M4 Hurricane is returning as an Apex attachment, which we'll get into those in a little bit. The Scar, the ACR, the Odin, the AK-47, and much more. I loved the feel of the Vel 46. I was frying with it in our playtest. I dropped a Juggernaut at one point, which was really sick. And the new attachment slot that I talked about earlier is called the Apex attachment. So each weapon has at least one, and it doesn't take up one of your 5 attachment slots, and it can completely change the feel of the weapon. So like I said, for the M4, the Apex attachment transforms it into the M4 Hurricane. And again, that doesn't take up one of your 5 attachment slots, so you can fill in the rest of your attachment slots as you see fit. There's an Apex attachment for a pistol that gives it a shotgun side barrel, and there's an Apex attachment for one of the burst ARs that makes it fully automatic. I think Apex attachments will be really fun for the longevity of MW4 because they can continue adding more and more as the seasons go on. So I'm really excited to see where that goes. There's also a feature called Gunny in your loadouts, and it's almost like a loadout building AI buddy. It builds weapon loadouts for you based on 3 playstyles that you select between. One is long range, one is balanced, and one is short range. And it does so by using attachments that you've already unlocked, which makes the loadout building experience much more seamless. Like I said earlier, traditional perks return like Ghost and Ninja, and field upgrades return as well for things like trophy systems, Dead Silence, and actually the Riot Shield. The last thing that I should mention about loadouts is that each loadout is where you choose your operator and your kill streaks, so these are not universal like it has been in previous Call of Duties. And it was fun to sit and customize each loadout to have a weapon that matches the operator, that matches the kill streaks that you want to be using. Next, and most importantly, are the maps. And as the game stands right now, this is what I feel like is probably the weakest part about Modern Warfare 4 so far. The ones I tested out, Sentry, Transit, Mumbai, Cachette, and a few more, they weren't super vibrant or colorful and sometimes felt cluttered and sometimes lacking the traditional 3-lane structure, which does make sense for Infinity Ward. One map that I wasn't a huge fan of was called Sentry, and the problem I had with it was it really only seemed to focus on one building in the center, and that building was so dark that most of my gunfights felt like they were against player red dots rather than the actual players. That being said, there are a few maps that I felt like were really promising. Mumbai plays pretty well and has very distinct lanes, including one with a moving train, kind of like Express, which is pretty sick. I liked one called Silkworm, which is actually pretty vibrant and colorful and had a much more traditional 3-lane structure, and another one called Cachette, which was definitely my favorite. It had 3 lanes with a street in the middle, and I imagine playing Search or Destroy on a map like this would actually be great. I think those last 3 maps could be competitive, but I'd like to see more competitively viable maps stand out to me. There's a new map called Kill Block, which we played 10v10 gunfight on, which was a super fun game mode, but what Kill Block features as a map is 3 distinct areas that change every 2 rounds. The concept is based off of a soccer stadium where the floor will break open and can be removed and swapped out for something else. And it does that with slices of familiar maps, for example, Crash and Shoot House and other new ones. Supposedly this map will be featured in other core modes, so I'll be interested to see how that turns out. For now, 10v10 gunfight was actually a blast, and when we played it in a room full of 20 people, it had people standing up and talking trash. It was actually a ton of fun. So now, with all that being said, I rate my Modern Warfare 4 experience as an 8.3 out of 10, with my good being the movement, the gunplay, the visuals, and the feel, and my not so good right now being the maps and the map layouts. So let me know what you think. Are you excited for Modern Warfare 4, and is Call of Duty back? Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you next time at lunchtime.